this release just came out a couple days ago from, of course, our wonderful Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. And the headline is, "A market of extremes, near record sales in August, combined with lowest supply in 4 decades. Demand for Fraser Valley real estate remained elevated in August, reaching the second highest sales ever for the month against a backdrop of decreasing supply." So the board processed in August an increase of 4% of listings, of sales compared to July, and a 2.4% increase compared to the same month last year. So sales remained unusually high for the month, second only to August of 2005. And Larry Anderson, our current president of the board, says home buyers are facing one of the worst supply shortages in the Fraser Valley history. Our sales are over 30% above normal, while our housing stock is at levels last seen in the early 80s. So that is crazy low inventory. To put our supply and demand situation in perspective, for every 100 townhouses on the market in August, Fraser Valley Realtors sold 94 of the 100. The single-family detached and condo markets also remained in strong sellers markets territory. So persistent demand and lack of supply continues to put upward pressure on home prices. And in August, the board received a decrease of 36.3% of listings compared to last year, and a decrease of 13.3% compared to July of this year. The month ended with total active inventory sitting at 16.8% decrease compared to July, and almost 45% fewer than August of last year. So across the Fraser Valley in August, the average number of days it took to sell a single-family detached home was 29 days, and a townhouse was 19 days, and a condo took on average 29 days to sell. Now, benchmark prices for single-family homes across the board for the whole Fraser Valley at $1,336,800, and that's an increase of 1.3% compared to July, and an increase of 31.1% compared to August of last year. Townhouses are at $697,500, and that is an increase of 1.3% compared to July, and an increase of 23.7% compared to August of last year. And condos are at $498,800, and that is an increase of 1% compared to last month, and an increase of 14.1% compared to August of last year. And now going municipality by municipality, starting with Abbotsford. Detached benchmark prices currently are at $1,152,700, and that's an increase of 35.6% from last year, and an increase of 1.5% from July. Townhouses in Abbotsford are at $598,300. That's an increase of 28.6% from last year, and 1.9% increase from a month before. Condos are at $366,000, and that is an increase of 18.7% from last year, and a 0.6% increase from the month before. Mission's benchmark price for detached homes are at $955,700, an increase of 37.1% from last year, and an increase of 2.8% from the month before. And townhouses are at $604,800, an increase of 29.9% from last year, and an increase of 1.1% from the month before. Condos at $431,000, an increase of 23.8% from last year, and an increase of 1.4% from the month before. White Rock in South Surrey area too is benchmark prices for detached homes at $1,713,800. That's an increase of 22.8% from last year, and an increase of 1.4% from the month before. Townhouses are at $822,400, and that's an increase of 22.7% from last year, and surprise, increase of 1.6% from the month before. Condos at $575,200, an increase overall from last year of 17.6%, and from the month before, an increase of 2.8%. Now, Langley, where I first moved to when I came to Canada, benchmark prices for detached homes are at $1,381,800, and that's an increase of 29.8% from last year, and an increase of 0.3% from the month before. And townhouses are at $723,100, and that's an increase of 25.5% from last year and an increase of 2.4% from the month before. And condos are at $473,700, an increase of 18.2% from last year and an increase of 0.3% from the month before. And then Delta, benchmark for detached homes. Prices are at $1,208,700, an increase of 29.2% from last year and an increase of 1.4% from July. Townhouses are at $680,400, and that's an increase of 17.9% from last year and an increase of 1.1% from the month before. And condos at $401,500, an increase of 3.8% from last year and down. The first time we see a down 0.2%, not much, but still a little bit down. And then Surrey, all of Surrey. Benchmark detached prices are at $1,405,000, and that's an increase of 32.1% from last year and an increase of 1.5% from the month before. Townhouses, $707,800, an increase of 22.4% from last year and 0.9% from the month before. And condos at $486,700, an increase of 12.5% from last year and an increase of 0.2% from the month before.